spoken to you, people of God and people of sports. It's the space where you get to enjoy sports with a slice of sass. You are with your Olorogo one, your Kubetu of the Kingdom. They call me Olorogo. Where's one get that Swa Chappelle? Well, in this place, you can call me Chief Swa alongside my girl, the one who drops the sports stats and facts and mash it up together. Oredo Pataki. Yes,
Oviedo Pataki.
Call it again.
Oviedo Pataki.
Oviedo Pataki.
Yes.
Why do I always say Oviedo? Like saying that
because you know Oredo, you know
it's
you
the
went to
local
University
government.
of Benin and
So
it's
it's
the local
Oviedo.
government, the Oviedo Pataki. Yes.
Cece was popping, baby. It's the
Yeah.
Cece and Chief Swore show. And if you're with us, that means you've come into the second edition. And I hope you had a good time engaging with us on the first one. If you want to be part of this community where we break things down in the kingdom where everybody loves sports, lifestyle, and everything in between, please do well to follow Sports Fiber on all multiple platforms. Engage, relate, like you became, like say you get fake. It's a new week, baby. We're entering
it's a
into
new week, yes, and it's big.
the holiest week.
The holiest week, yeah. This is Holy Week. So whatever you've been doing in the past 1 week, maybe if you're a Christian, a Muslim, whatever community you belong to, I know the Christian community, especially the Catholics, understand what this week is all about. It's the Holy Week. Just try and be holy, okay? Whatever you do.
Since I want to some people, we all get to call Jesus one time or the other. Do that what you will. But my girl, something happened over the weekend that blew my mind away.
Yeah.
And you know we can't start without getting to speak on the who they pop. So who they pop for you?
I always popping at CHIAMAKA NNADOZIE, for instance, assist clean sheet since she came into WSL. You know, when you have a player like that, you know, there was something she tweeted. I was going to take it out. I mean, you guys will just go to her Twitter handle and see what I'm talking about. Talked about, goalkeeping.
Yeah.
She's more like the number 9.
Yeah.
Just like Victor Osimhen.
Like striker.
So she deserved that. Yes. And that's what she does on every day, every week with Brighton. And just this weekend, the fact that they were able to beat Leicester City by a lone goal, and of course, Leicester City by a lone goal, and she kept that clean sheet. And remember, just the week during the week, I mean, she got her award for save of the month, against that Liverpool game. She she received the award, during the week, that save of the month. So that's a girl that everywhere she goes, especially when it comes to goalkeeping, when it comes to WSL, when it comes to football, she's in it. And because she also made the headline, when she spoke with Osaso Bayo and about the WAFCON. So some of these girls are still very, very upset concerning WAFCON postponement. They were ready, they were training, they were eager to go. So she also, something also popped in from them when she talked about the fact that she was really disappointed. But the good thing is, we know WAFCON is going to be in Morocco. But that's a gist later in the day. So what's popping up for you?
Oh, first of all, I just want to say shout out to CHIAMAKA. I mean, you're so dope. Now she's the joint second best goalkeeper currently at the WSL. Meaning that not only my Chelsea babe, Mary Ampton, that's higher than her. But you see the thing for CHIAMAKA that's been very crazy. Every game,
consistency.
It's not just the consistency, it's the performance level. Every game she does at least 3 saves. She faces more shots, hot shots by the way, than Fallon, that goalkeeper from Manchester United. Yeah, that's the joint second by the way. And she manages to outperform on some levels. So I like that. World class. She was not voted number 4 in the world for women goalkeepers for nothing.
For nothing, yes.
I believe that she's the best goalkeeper in the world. If you like argue with your computer now, you sabi.
Yeah,
so
shout out your keyboard and start
do whatever.
Argument, yeah.
CHIAMAKA is the truth, and I like that. When she does it now in Europe, she will go to North America, and then she will go to Asia to go and collect Arab money and come back again and finish.
But whatever she wants to do, we are up for her because she's always
carried.
great.
I'm going through stuff, and I realized then, Cece, can we just round of applause for our wheelchair basketball team? Mona clap, thank you.
Yes. It's needed.
I didn't even get my whoop. Can I get a whoop? Thank you, because our wheelchair ladies.
Yeah, for the first time. It's history. When we talk about the Commonwealth Games, the Olympics, and then you're talking about the Para Games, you discover that apart from the powerlifters, those are the ones who always celebrate. But now we're celebrating the basketball team, because for the first time, the wheelchair basketball 3-on-3, they defeated South Africa. That's the pride I'm having. The fact that they beat South Africa. What's the scoreline again? Remember the scoreline?
8-3.
Yeah, which was beautiful against South Africa. And so they picked that ticket. Now we have 2 teams representing both men and women.
But the men.
For the men, for South Africa. For the women, Nigeria. And guess what happened in the men's event? Well, Nigerian guys, they lost. They know they carried last, but this time around, it was the last for them. So they lost to South Africa 13-8. And somebody said it was a narrow defeat.
If they that
How narrow is 13-8?
Cece, that one for you. You go play.
Yeah.
You go enter court.
Yeah, I'll try.
But I like that for a federation that's just newly formed. Them shout out to them Sheyi Johnson.
Yes.
And especially the captain. I won't pronounce his name.
Gbemisola. Please.
Gbemisola Olubisi.
Stay with that.
That part.
The first name, leave it.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yoruba girls. Yeah.
So I'm going to do a roll call. If I do roll call, Sister clap because we don't get to see them every time. Not Saturday Fala. Amokpa Patricia, Aisha Yahaya, Christina Oloagba. Hey, my people, it's just 8 people in the team. Grace Nwaozuzu and Folashade Ogba. Olagbemi. Yeah, I want to say thank you for putting the Nigerian flag where it's supposed to be, at the top end. And that was a good way to enter into this new week. And it was a great way to close off the Women's Month as it is. We'll still tell you something exciting for the Women's Month that still played out. But you know what? Wheelchair, Chiamaka, fantastic. Sheun, your guy from tennis.
Yeah, Sheun Ogushoki. I think we have to.
Ogushoki, yeah. Is it Ogushaki or Shoki? Is it Shaki or Shoki?
Ogushaki.
Yeah.
So a big shout out to him, because just at 18, the tournament that is being played, that is currently going on. One is currently going on in Cairo.
Yeah.
He will be up today. But earlier in the week, he was able to win the ITF African Regional Championship J200 event in Cairo, Egypt, beating Botswana, a Grand Slam hero. Remember, Untungami Ragwin. That was the guy. He was at the Australian Open, the junior tournament. He was there. He got to the quarterfinals. So he defeated him 1-6, 7-6, 6-3 to win that event, the ITF African Regional Championship J200 event, which was a good one for him. So now, in the semi-finals, he defeated an Egyptian before he went on to beat the guy from Botswana. So again, now, this week, the other round of J300 will continue in Cairo.
Yeah.
That's where we'll be facing this Grand Slam guy again. I mean,
he had to beat an Egyptian to get there.
He would have been one of the guys that could have been at the Australian Open, the junior event, but narrowly he missed out. When you compete in junior, so there's a tendency that you're going to go into the senior. So we are looking forward to him. Just maybe he might make it to the French Open. The hard court is over, so we're looking forward to the clay season.
Yeah.
He might just make it to the junior event of the French Open. Who knows? So that's Sheun is the guy that you guys to watch out on. He's just 18. And of course, when you're at that age, you're playing a junior. At the junior, you're able to get into a junior Grand Slam. You know that, yes, something big will happen. Because I want to start seeing us, representing at the big stage, not just a table tennis. We're talking tennis at the moment now, and that's what we want to see. So shout out to Sheun for what he did, during the week. So
I like it. Please, I know I like the Botswana base, but I like the idea of us beating the Botswana people. So Sheun, do it. Also the continuity there from people like them Lucky Abi. Yeah, Lucky Danjuma, the juniors as well, Ekpe Young as well. A few Nigerians have been doing well from the juniors and scaling up. So for me, Cece, I think that the revival from the 80s in tennis and early 90s in tennis is coming back small. But speaking of revival, let's get into something else that really blew my mind away. And that's in athletics, baby.
Okay, yes. 4x100 meters mixed relay.
Give me
the
gist. For the 4x4... let's not go to the 4x100 first. We broke the record again for mixed relays. Our ladies and gentlemen, first time. I mean, they finished work. To roll out the name, I need to roll out their name because I don't want the waste time to roll out people's name. To roll out their name for this particular junction, I want to say shout out again to the ladies and gentlemen who managed to finish work. So, sis, I was saying that the relays was dope because the qualifications, Nigeria had not qualified for two categories into this weekend. The 4x100 for mixed and the 4x400 for mixed. And this weekend past, we kind of did some amazing work to get us into the Bahamas. Shout out first of all to our key runners when we say finish work. Not be them the main guys when we say come to like Chidio Keze. But we had people like Emmanuel Ojeli We had people like
Samson Nathaniel.
Samson Nathaniel, Sikira Deyemi as well. That guy don't feature where for inside our African games and whatnot. Those ones were able to push off Thailand, Switzerland, and what's his face, another African country, Zambia. Yes, they were able to push them off the pitch and made it to number 22nd ranked. But for the 4x100. Not only did you break records for the
41.44 seconds.
44 seconds, Abi?
44 seconds.
That was dope. That was dope. That's an African record.
44 seconds. That's an African record. It's the first time Miss Relay is just being introduced for the 4x100 meters.
4x100.
So we already have the 4x400 meter Miss Relays, which Nigeria is actually good at in that one. But this one is 4x100 meters Miss Relay, which is a good one. That running 41.44 seconds. I think that's huge for them. That's an African record.
That's an African record.
So they are on the path to qualify for the World Relays. And I hope they will be able to do that.
Can I say something though?
Yeah.
When they first bring out this particular category for mixed relays, I was there at the juniors, World Juniors under 18, where they tested it out. And it was Nigeria that broke all the records. What's this guy now that's in the US now? The Bamidele Abi, what's his name? They were the ones, Favor Philly, them. She was there as well. They broke all the records for mixed relays. I can tell you that when people say that men and women cannot work together in Nigeria, look at our mixed relay teams, and you can see that if you don't put your politics and you put your mouth inside, just let them cook. These kids are always breaking records. So I think that's a very good chance for us. Every time they've done it for the past 4 years, there's always a Nigerian team that's always pushing inside. So congratulations. I would say AFN. Because I don't know if now I get the glory.
No, I think we can say, putting the teams together, traveling with the team, it's okay. But just make sure the welfare is top notch. That is what we want to see.
Not talk welfare. Not be the fight last week when we said na 70,000. They said they give them for training for this thing. But we talk that one. No.
We're all about positivity.
Positivity.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Yeah.
Now, Patrice Motsepe, the president of Confederation of African Football, our able presido, has had a very layered and nuanced presser that went under the radar over the weekend. And we woke up this morning to different flows and conversation. And for someone who was at the presser online, live and direct to you, I had questions because this is a new age. If Kirsty Coventry is having her own challenges, trying to put in new policies that everybody will be happy with, now to Motsepe. If it's not broken, why do you fix it? We had some few big liners that came out from that presser. One of them being officially, yes, it's going to be extended 24 to 28. It starts
Africa Cup of Nations is going to start in the next 4-year cycle. So we're looking at after the 2028. So after that, we start having 28 teams at the Africa Cup of Nations. Now we have 24. We have 54 countries in Africa.
So
more than half
Yeah.
of it will be playing at the Africa Cup of Nations. How many countries played? No,
I won't ask you just now. We get 54.
So 28. So now he hasn't. I watched the full presser from beginning to the end, and the questions were being asked. He didn't really expatiate on it. I'm sure he said
details of it.
The details will come out, as we go on. I'm sure maybe after 2027 that Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda are hosting, they'll come out with a full schedule and structure of how these will play out. Because at the moment we don't know how it's going to play out. Now, how many countries can conveniently host 28 countries at the Africa Cup of Nations? Of course, maybe what is going to happen in Uganda, which is Uganda, Tanzania, and what was the next one I mentioned earlier? The
Uganda,
three
Tanzania,
and Kenya. The East African nations. What happened there in 2027? Maybe that's going to be a test run for what's going to happen subsequently. So you can have 3 countries actually coming together to host. But now, how is it going to be structured? The qualifiers, for instance, how is it going to be structured? What format is it going to take? These are some of the things that will come up much later. I believe Motsepe will have answers for that. Another thing is, we know that 2027, people that have been saying it's not going to hold, there's a stamp on it now. 2027, the Africa Cup of Nations is going to hold, and 2028, another one is going to hold. But who is going to host? We don't know yet. A journalist actually asked, since we don't have hosts, are we also going to give it to Morocco? He now tried to explain something about how Morocco usually come into the party, that there are some tournaments usually there's no money. They run at a loss. So when Morocco decide to say, okay, we want to host this country, and other countries are pulling out, they give it to them. So that's where they actually come in. So for now, the Africa Cup of Nations in 2027 is going to take place. But we're not going to have 28 teams in that one. The 28 team is going to start much later. Yeah. So we have 24 4 teams
24 for next year,
for
and then
next
the
year.
year after.
Subsequently, 28.
Oh yeah, put a
will
pin on
happen.
it. Put a pin on it. The first thing when we say you talk, when we say bust my brain, are the fact that Musepe says that we don't have money. We don't have money. Do you know that they brought out a report? I'm coming. Say we are running at a loss, hosting.
No, I'm
Cherry?
saying no. Wait, let me clarify that. You know, out of context. Don't take me out of context. When he said there are some tournament they host. For instance, he mentioned the women's Champions League, for instance, they run at a loss. Futsal, for instance, they run at a loss. But people don't follow that. He mentioned that whenever South Africa and Nigeria are playing, I mean, the numbers go off the roof. We all know that because population, of course, everybody is just in Nigeria, more than 250. You know, the whole world, when you mention Nigeria, Moses Ituama, for instance, who is a Nigerian, who just won the boxing against, against Franklin. Jermaine Franklin, the guy in 27th fight that has not been knocked out or stopped, that's a Nigerian. So anytime, the whole world was actually watching because, he is affiliated to Nigeria. So anytime Nigeria and South Africa, whenever they're playing, everyone is watching. So that tells you a whole lot of where he is coming from. So he mentioned that, for instance, just maybe we have Rivers Angels, for instance, or maybe Bayelsa Queens playing in the final of the CAF Champions League. Imagine the numbers. So now he says that they're running at a loss in some competitions. Futsal, Nigeria don't even participate in futsal. So just maybe these competitions, maybe they are consistent, because when he talked about they running at a loss in some competitions, I would blame CAF for that. Women's Champions League have been running. We're going to be entering the 4th or the 5th edition this year, right? Sometimes you don't even know. You ask the club, they don't know where they are going to next, where they qualify for that. Sometimes the dates are not consistent. We talked about consistency. We talk about branding. If you brand your competition well, for the first 5-6 years, you could run at a loss because while you're trying to promote it, by the time you expand it, it's consistent and people can follow the calendar. Obviously, people want to put in their money because eyes will now be on it. By the time they don't know it, for instance, if they tell me that at WAFCON they are running at a loss, I'll clap for them because it's what they want. Why? You have WAFCON. When I started covering the women's game in 2016, first one, in Cameroon, we saw the numbers, we saw the people. You enter Yaoundé, you could see billboards of the players that were playing in that tournament. Ghana hosted 2019. We saw 28, before COVID, right? We saw the same thing. 2018. We saw the same thing. It was big. It was huge. But what happened after that? You cancelled it because of COVID, where other tournaments were postponed. And then 2022, you finally, imagine from 2018, the next time you hosted a Cup of Nations was 2022. Okay, fine, we're happy. You know, said, okay, the next time after the World Cup, we have one in 2024. What happened in 2024? There was no Africa Cup of Nations. We were supposed to have built on Africa's performance at the World Cup in Australia in 2023. We saw how big it was. While other countries leverage on that to get more money, merchandise, and, best brands, identify with their athletes and also identify with the sport. Nigeria didn't get anything. Africa didn't get anything. Why? In 2024, there was no Africa Cup of Nations. We were waiting. It was moved to 2025. And then you enter Morocco. We didn't know what was going on. I think we're going to have a podcast whereby those who covered Morocco, who covered the Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, and those who cover AFCON, let them compare. There was no build-up. There was nothing. The only activation they did was when, of course, a new trophy was released, and that was all. So now, you had that in 2025. Okay, we're waiting for 2026. Thank God it's a World Cup year. We're going to have it as planned. I was supposed to go on my annual leave, in April. I always loved that because of the plenty holidays and everything. Right. And even my producer who also chose it, decided to shift his leave, after, the WAFCON. Yeah. We are all prepared. Everyone was ready. And 2 weeks to the tournament, you postpone it. And inside this press conference that he gave, what was his reason for postponement? Unforeseen circumstances. And the only thing that came out of this press conference is the fact that we know that players, all of you are going to Morocco. So that's is official now. Morocco is still hosting, but we know it's in August.
When I get you into this zone, you just pour everything out at once.
Yeah, I wanted to learn the point because when they said they don't have money.
Yeah.
So if you're consistent and you're branding it and you're activating, you're letting people know, why will you not make money out of it? So again, who do you blame when you're running some competitions at a loss? So
you see this thing that you said that they don't make money. I still want to go back to what the numbers said because I like this Mosepe era. This era, when they finish competition, they'll come and it's them that will bring report and tell you, we made 1.5 billion, we made 500 million. We made this.
Yeah,
But
and it's only Africa Cup of Nations. It's only
I'm
AFCON.
going somewhere. I'm
So
going
why are we
somewhere.
not making money from other
I'm going
competitions? Tell
somewhere.
me.
So when people say this, even after the Women African Cup of Nations, they still came out and said
What
we
were
were
the
able to
numbers?
turn out a profit. The profit was in maybe 100 or something like that. I'll find the report
They could
out.
have turned out more.
I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. So when we had a conversation last year at Rabat, right?
Yeah.
6 months before the AFCON, they brought out this sponsor.
Yeah.
And the sponsor came out for just the men. And when we were there, I asked
Was
the
that
question.
the only one?
No, they come, they do plenty. Now they want to go
Exactly.
For. They go somewhere.
I attended 3.
They go somewhere. So when I go for that particular one, I asked the sponsor, how come you are sponsoring a tournament that's 6 months away? You guys are not active in this one. But AFCON is coming. And you guys didn't make a plan that if you are doing something that's for January for the guys, you are going to do for something that's in March. As at the time, we thought it was going to be March. So I was like, there's no sponsorship that's in Anco. It was only one Angolan logistics company that I knew that for the past few years has been, and a few other small brands.
Yeah.
Not small, big brands, but that would do both for the men and the women.
Orange, for
And it was like,
instance.
nobody threw that to us. And I'm like, eh? Now, this is not the first time that they say nobody threw that to us. So this is where I'm going. Every time Osepe comes out and it has to do with women competitions and whatnot, they're always creating new formats. Personally, in a continent that has just under 55 countries, unless another person break up again, or decide to open their own country, why are we doing a tournament that has 28? Who asked for the extra sheets? It's like, Mr. Producer, did somebody write exam for AFCON and say, excuse me, professor, give me extra sheet, make I write more? Because nobody asked for more. All we wanted was more experiential, more like not even activation, subsidized transportation. Make the tickets available so that we can actually go and
More
pay
people
for
can
and watch so
yeah.
that the experience is sweeter. You're talking about a futsal. Who saying you go do futsal? For Africa, we get futsal as a tradition. Not be South American and they get futsal. We get format. No, I dey go somewhere. I dey go somewhere. I dey go somewhere. The format of football when we say they work for Africa, but Lolo fit football na no use am. Now we don't they carry 1v1. They not use Mopo Sofali Day, the monkey post format. After all, please, someone talk to me in the chat. Talk to me in the chat, please. Do we have monkey post tournament powered by CAF? Because as far as I'm concerned, there's never been any African country I've gone to that doesn't have a monkey post. Yeah. But you're giving me futsal. Why you go blow? You then bring something when be not be natural to me. Then the one that's natural to me, you will not invest in it. And you are bringing more formats. So I hate that thing when people say there's not enough, there's whatever. But you are seeing the monies are there. Yeah, this AFCON that finished, by the way. This AFCON that finished was the most profitable. It was more profitable than even the one in Ivory Coast. And Ivory Coast,
and that was big. And that was the biggest one
before then.
Yeah.
Before then.
Yeah.
And the idea of having a billionaire as your president is that the business end of it will chop it.
Yeah.
But if you look his practices overboard, and I not put water from out, he doesn't favor women. Yeah, he doesn't favor junior tournaments. Because when you go other spaces and you are seeing how they are boosting things up, when it comes to the women tournaments, when it comes to, it's just, okay, you people say you wanted a CAF women's champion. Take!
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an
as a commentator myself, I can tell you for free. Do you know how many times you will push yourself and say, okay, we have been doing this on these other things. How far for the women? No, you are not the one we want. They'll go and bring commentators from France. They'll bring commentators from Europe. Inside an African tournament that CAF will be paying Europeans to come and do stuff for. So if you are saying that you are doing things, can you be about it? Because honestly speaking, the way our AFCON has been over the years, we didn't ask for big buildings. We just want, give us a space to play. The one they played even in Congo Brazzaville, before they scatter Congo Brazzaville, I think they played one there, back in the olden days. Those ones, we played it, they put it in the history, it was fine, it was beautiful, we enjoyed ourselves, we kept it moving. Yes, people will fight, but they'll keep it moving. Yeah. So I feel like, let's not fall into that erasure FC. When the orgas come out and start putting, it's not profitable, what do you think your NFF chairman will say? Women's stuff is not profitable. What do you think the other person will say? He's not making money.
You know,
Yeah. Last weekend, this weekend went past. Another record showing for women, yet again. Over 60,000 women gathered in Denver.
Yeah.
In Denver to watch a league game. Yeah. That is a record already. Every other week, records are being broken across women's sports everywhere. But when it comes to us in Africa, as the women try, the next minute, it scatters.
Yeah.
So let's shift that aside. He also said something.
We are not building momentum. Yeah, I was going to.
It's an anti. So, Oga, stop saying that we don't make money. We make money.
When you talked about advertising and everything, and the sponsorship, branding, during the last Women's Africa Cup of Nations, we had like 2 major events whereby they were sponsoring the tournament in Morocco. The next tournament, the WAFCON was going on. It happened July, August, right? Yeah, last August, right? Around
which one?
WAFCON, the last WAFCON.
That was
why we were during I think July, summer.
Yeah.
So June, July. So last year's WAFCON, why it was going on during that, all the activation that were done were all for the AFCON that was going to take place.
Like your women tournament is going on. You are putting activation for AFCON.
But
we wait for AFCON. I didn't see any activation for WAFCON. And then you'll be talking like it's not.
You're saying
you don't put anything there for them.
If you're selling, I remember I was talking with some guys who worked with, I won't mention their name now, who worked with some Nigerian Football Federation in relation to marketing and branding and everything. That whenever they go to meet sponsors, that they don't even put the women's, everything is centered on Super Eagles.
On the men.
So now, if you keep doing that, it simply means you don't care. Now, if you are selling a brand and you put AFCON and WAFCON, okay, you know what? You're going to sponsor AFCON. Fine. Okay, give 70% to AFCON, your 30% to WAFCON. You will see how that will be. Because if you see this last WAFCON, the whole world, people were actually watching. People were watching.
WAFCON final went trend.
Yeah, it was
WAFCON final trend.
Till now it was trending. And
WAFCON final trended more than the Asian Cup.
Asian Cup.
Do you know what that means? Your women's tournament trended more than the biggest continent of people in the world. They did their Asian Cup. Somebody will argue that, okay, Asian, they don't play football. Well, when they play their own, as they plenty reach, the
numbers were not as much. So it tells you a whole lot. So if you're talking about not making money out of it, so why not look inward and check, how can I make money? How can I not run at a loss? So even if you're not making much, but you're not going to run at a loss. So first of all, have a scheduled calendar and say, okay, CAF Champions League, this is the time it's going to play. The regional tournament, align all the calendars of the Women's League, align them together. Let me
even bust your brain. When this man will be telling us that they are not making money, they are not making profit, when they are doing AFCON, do you know that CAF will carry people for AFCON? They'll say, you guys are the certified influencers. Let me talk in the language that some of you will understand. So you know how they are doing us shaggy. They'll carry some people and pay and say, you guys are the certified influencers of CAF. When it comes to WAFCON, how many do you think they bring out?
They brought...
Where 2 or 3 are gathered. If it's not the brands, as someone that has benefited of brands that has carried me for stuff. When it comes to the women's own, CAF no subsidized arrangement. If you are going there as a journalist or even somebody that's passionate about it, it's on your time, it's on your dime. I know for a fact that a lot of people will not be able to even make money, even to gather themselves for this particular new date fixture, because some of them had booked their flights with their hard-earned money. And now they can't even get that money back because flight people say, we are not giving you that ticket, Otilo. And now you are telling me that it doesn't make profit.
It's in summer. You know how flight tickets are during summer.
If the president is saying it doesn't make profit, how do you go to a client and tell the client that, I want to go and cover WAFCON, I want to go and cover Women's Championship, when the president of the intercontinental tournaments is telling you that they are not profitable? So why would a brand give me money and say, take my money, go and cover it? And the president is saying that kind of thing. See, Erasure FC, people should be very careful. Be very careful and call people out. I wish there were more journalists that called the man out when he said that. I won't say they bomb me wave now for say bad dash. I get respect. But when they start saying crinkum crackum, cut them off, because that's how they marginalize and keep you out of the main light. So moving on. We are finished this one.
They're moving on.
If you agree with us, please get on Sports Fiber. If you feel like we are talking Yanyapu, please, this is a place. I won't say it's a safe space, but it's a place that you can express, because we always do this. We'll talk with our sports with a slice of sass. Now, if you agree, drop it in the comment section.
Vibes.
If you have other suggestions that maybe we didn't see, solutions that maybe we didn't see, or maybe angle that we didn't see, please come and talk to us. So comment in the comment section, like, share, and let this rip. In the meantime, we're closing off match. Somebody say amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Okay, I think before we close up with the main one that you want to talk about, like I was going to talk about the fact that the significant shift in the different tournament, the CAF Nations League.
Did you ask for Nations League?
I did not ask for Nations League.
Even the European League that they are doing.
So that 16 team will be staged every 2 years. So it's going to be played by the same superstars that are playing the every 4 years.
They can't even release from their clubs
And
normally.
then during the press conference, he said he's not taking anybody's template. I remember Euros Nations League. Also, we ended there. Nobody's template, but we're going to be having what's it called again?
You see my point.
The
when it comes
CAF
to the men,
Nations League.
And I'm not trying to be genderist.
In addition to the AFCON reforms, and not just that, an African Nations League starting from 2029.
Who ask you?
And then the new competition will be held annually with a 16-team final tournament stage every 2 years. So more actually coming. And there was none for the women. The only thing we are glad that
we are barely able to do the wildcard. Hey, Morocco will save us.
Morocco will save us.
Make us say Ogunwagbo
in July, August. No, please don't say that.
Okay.
Because it's a very bad thing.
It's a very bad thing.
It's Holy Week. I told
it's Holy Week. We are trying to be holy. Yakubu manage. But
it's Holy Week.
You see, when I get crazy like this,
so you know what? Let's spice this up.
Let's lighten up.
And yes, lighten up with entertainment. Let's leave cap. We're going to rest Motsepe here. We'll rest it. Yes. We're resting it.
Woman gets his belly, they find extra 8 for him. He asks you. The boys that take they won't show up. Okay. Anyway, for the girls, I want to say shout out to the ladies. Yes. Amazon Tennis Tournament 2.0, they came through with the vibes. Yeah. Well, you don't forget to say for this show, they like to check out the sports lifestyle. And in Lagos, there's a resurgence in tennis and a few other sports. One thing I noticed over the weekend that was pretty cool was that as our girls and they were playing their cricket against South Africa, on one side in Lagos, Nigeria, there were people that were just trying to cross change and come into, the space where they were running the tournament for tennis. And it's for amateurs. It's for tennis enthusiasts.
Did you play?
If I bring this my shift leg, come outside, wear short skirt. You know those everywhere go scatter. They're not the Zoom. If you see the
audience, we don't want to stay on her face.
If I wear short skirt, come outside.
Now tell us about the Amazon. What happened? The babes that were there, the ladies. I mean, I heard someone from Ghana actually came here to. We know she's a Nigerian.
Oh yeah, she's a Nigerian. Frances is Nigerian. It's not about even the money. I think she got about 550 altogether.
Yeah, but
it's the fact that the top contenders from last year, all 4 of them, they crashed out. I think in quarterfinals. By the time they got to the finals this time, you saw that there was a upsurge of participants. Multiple clubs. I didn't even know we had so many tennis clubs across this side of the divide.
I think about 126 players or something.
It was crazy. It was crazy. And then they did this thing with the fashion, but you know what? I'm not just going to talk about it.
Yeah, you say it.
You see yourself. So you know that Lagos is vibing. Nigeria is popping. We don't just have the Sheo Gusha Kings. Just last week, they just did the children's, the secondary school tennis tournament in Lagos. And now we have Amazons doing their thing. And I think the charity work is commendable. Shout out to the partners and everyone involved. Dumebi, shout out to you. Punja, shout out to you. They have official name, but the one where we know.
Yeah, you did a great job. So keep up with it.
Cece, can you wear a short skirt? Can you dress in tennis garb? I can see you in that.
Yeah, I do it sometimes. Yeah,
you do it sometimes.
When I'm home. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do sometimes.
So how would you rate the ladies that came out and
I think it was fantastic, really, because when you're playing tennis, that's how you will dress. You can't dress otherwise, really. That's how you will dress. Yeah. I mean, it was good for the beautiful ladies who showed up, and I hope that that's also going to help them, in terms of, how do I put it? In terms of, sometimes you just want to keep fit. Some of them do it for leisure, to keep fit, and then just be active. That also help. And if it's for a good cause, I'm all for it. So shout out to all the ladies that turn out with their fashion blend and everything.
I love it. Wait. Oh, wait. I forgot to mention. Shout out to my son, because I got to a tennis tournament with my son. He had never been. I tell you, because people did that. They give us food now. They give us noodles and stuff. If I was like, bro, are you enjoying yourself? He said, I'm having a good time. Nice. Yeah. So I think more people should know that you can carry your family.
Yeah.
And
the weekend, just enjoy.
Vibe.
Yeah.
So shout out to Amazon.
Okay, I wouldn't end the show without talking about my brothers and sisters from Ghana. I mean, you're preparing for the World Cup against Austria. Ended 5-1, and they're playing Germany next. They're playing Germany next. I don't know how many it's going to happen in that one. So our hearts are actually with you guys. Keep preparing for the World Cup. Sometimes when you lose, that's not the end, because it's just international friendlies. And shout out to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Those who were saying that Super Eagles are a one-man team without the semen, nothing. But against Iran, we're clinical 2-1, and we kept it tight, tidy, and steady. And that's Super Eagles for you.
I like how you do. I can't be like say even notorious BIG. Tight and steady. That's very good for you. What is there? Too very good when they go Mexico, Canada, England. I've been to America.
It doesn't matter. Don't worry. The next World Cup, Super Eagles, we are coming.
Anyway, on that note,
Jersey?
we're going to say we are
Beautiful.
very optimistic as we close the international break and get into the highlights of a final push. Guy, Arsenal, Chelsea, forget. Man United, maybe. Bayern Munich, are they going to get it?
I think they'll get it.
They've already got
April.
it literally.
They get in April.
This was anyways time.
Yeah.
Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah, it's still very tight. It's very tight.
Barcelona is warning everybody now. Rafinha is injured, out for weeks. And now I hear say Spanish Federation, they go one day. Barca go one day. Say, Mona no touch our boy, Lamine Yamal. If Yamal pop now, can they still go?
Now you understand why 11 Arsenal players pulled out of international break. We understand that. Don't worry, our guys will talk about those things.
The guys can talk about it. See, follow up on Sports Fiber. Beaucoup de choses, as the French would like to say. Every aspect of the sports ecosystem, we like touching up on it. And if you're part of the ecosystem, that means you're on pause and you sabi within the game. My name is Chief Swell, your energy chief, one, as you know.
And I'm Cece.
The lady with the facts. Cece, you oppressed me to do. But my God, I shall come back. I shall bounce back. Namaste. Welcome. Catch you guys. Have a great week.